Everyone tells artists just be yourself, but no one explains how to do that without destroying your confidence or your career. So most of us do the obvious thing. We chase the sound of artists who've already made it and hope that it'll work for us too. But it never does, because it's not their sound that makes them successful, it's that they found a way of expressing themselves that perfectly aligns with who they are. So, if we copy what's popular, you will actually just spend a whole career chasing a moving target and always being one step behind. So, how do you fix it? My name's Philip Davidson. For the last 15 years, I've been engineering, producing and writing for both major label and independent artists, helping them find their sound and bring it to life at the highest level. Today, I specialize in what I call artist-defining production, creating music that reflects exactly who you are. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact process I use by showing you the real transformation of an artist that I'm currently working with right now. This is Joe. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly how he went from trying to sound like everyone else, stuck in an undefined indie lane, battling writer's block and losing his confidence, to creating a sound that finally felt like him, earning BBC radio support and making what he believes is the best music of his life. And this video isn't about, hey, look what Joe did. No, it's about the decisions we made together, so you can apply the same principles to your own music and your own career. And if at any point you recognize yourself in Joe's story, I offer a free limited number of artist clarity sessions each month. There's a link in the description if you want to apply and submit your music. Let's jump into exactly how it all started with Joe.
Started writing in lockdown, and I was writing in a band, and I wrote a lot of like indie stuff that was inspired by like what Tame Impala, MGMT, 1975, like kind of lots of indie bands.
This was a great starting point for Joe. It got him into writing music in the easiest possible way, by copying what he loved in a world that he already understood. But there was a problem.
Really what I'm listening to and what I wanted to write was more down the kind of like garagey route, more club route, dance route, or electronic.
This is the first moment when artists quietly quit, but Joe didn't. You see, he'd already spent 2 years trying to shape a voice people could relate to, trying to make the project work. But like so many other artists, he hit a roadblock, the kind you only reach once you've pushed as far as you can in the wrong direction. And this is where artists are forced to ask, what is it and who is it that I actually want to be? And this is the first thing that Joe had to overcome.
I felt a bit disillusioned with what I was doing. And I think I went to see James Blake at Alexandra Palace. Something shifted in that day. And that was another catalyst. That was another thing where I was like, well, no, I need to just be Joseph James. Like, it just needs to be me solo.
So many artists never make it past this point. They know their old sound doesn't quite feel right, but they have no idea what to build in its place. Joe didn't have all the answers yet either, but he knew who he didn't want to be. And that clarity was the first real turning point. This is the moment when Joe and I first started talking. We booked a call and we spoke about the music that he truly loved. Not the stuff that he thought he was supposed to make, but the artists and the sound that actually lit him up and that he was actually excited about. Then we sat down and listened through to all of his demos. What he had was already strong, but it didn't quite sound like the person he was describing and the music that excited him the most. So we got open to the idea of almost starting from nothing, not by throwing away anything, but by rebuilding around who he really was. If this is starting to sound even remotely like you, this next part is where things started to click real fast. So step one wasn't marketing, it wasn't TikTok, it wasn't growing a fan base. It was let's build a sound that Joe can believe in. So he started to pull on the threads of his demos, UK garage influences, chopped vocals, emotionally centered lyrics, and that bittersweet late-night energy. Our goal wasn't to copy a genre, it was to give his real identity a sonic shape, led by Joe's excitement and the inherent traits of his demos. By flipping from a marketing-led artist development plan to a creative-led artist development plan, Joe started to get excited about his music again.
Discovering that, oh my God, like this D&B beat, this jungle beat, this house beat, this garage, like two-step pattern, in a weird way, having that big word, but dichotomy between like the dance beat and the kind of emotion and the kind of heart of the song, and then combining both to make it something that's like, it's somewhere bridging that bridging that songwriting with that kind of like strong club beat or strong electronic beat, some kind of avant-garde dance pop thing in the middle, you know, meeting both worlds and smushing them together. So for me, that discovering that sound and discovering that, like, kind of tapping into that and going, well, no, why have one or the other when you can have both?
That moment when you hear yourself coming out of the speakers for what feels like the first time, this is the moment that most artists just chase. The sound that finally clicks. And it clicks not because it's objectively better, but because it actually feels like the artists themselves. Joe was no longer imitating, he was expressing. And that shift from second guessing to self-trust changed everything. Because once the inside was right, the outside started responding too. And the things that Joe had only previously dreamed of started happening.
I finally got BBC introducing coverage for it. I got an interview on there with them. I was their track of the week with that song. And like, that's when I realized in my head, I was like, that's what I've been missing out on. If you don't believe in the song and you don't believe in the music, no one else is going to believe you either. No one's going to get it. No one cares because you don't care.
Same artist, same voice, same work ethic. The difference? The music finally sounded like him. But those BBC plays, they created a new problem. And here's what no one tells you. Success doesn't solve your creative fear. It amplifies it. Because now, every new song has something to live up to. And that added pressure, it can crush your process if you don't know how to handle it. After that first EP, Joe hit what I call the dip. You've made the best work of your life. You've got external validation that you're doing something great. And suddenly, every new idea that you have has to live up to that. And that's exactly what happened to Joe next.
Am I ever going to write like that again? Has all the best songs or all my lyrics, like, has that passed me? In the moment, you're so like, the writer's block is so bad that it's like, oh my God, I can't even bring myself to write another song. I don't know how I'm going to do this. So I think in between those two EPs, even though they're so kind of intrinsically sonically linked, that period of writer's block was really bad. Like, for a good 2 months, I couldn't write anything.
This is the point where most artists either burn out or back out. Joe didn't do either, but only because he made a choice that most people avoid. He stopped forcing songs and started facing himself. And this is the part that no one ever talks about. Success creates real pressure. Real life creates pressure. Pressure creates fear, and fear creates blocks. And the thing that was blocking Joe, it wasn't as simple as I have no ideas. Like most artists, it was much deeper than that.
I feel like people want me to be a version of myself that I'm not, or I'm trying to play up to someone's idea of what they want me to be. And that's been my modus operandi for a very, very long time. And I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of looking at myself in the mirror and not liking what I see, or not recognizing who I am.
This is where a lot of artists try to push harder, force themselves to write, grind through it, and hope it magically fixes itself. And Joe tried that too, but it just made things worse. So instead, he did something much braver. He stopped trying to write songs and started writing truth.
Being brutally honest with myself and writing that in my music, I think that was the thing that got me out of it. Because I was like, no, you're lying. That's what you're doing. You're lying. You're not being who you are. And you're not saying what's on your mind. You're not saying how you feel about something. You're not saying the truth. And it's so personal. It's so deeply introspective and so deeply hyper-personal to me. And at times it felt really uncomfortable. You know, all these deep kind of emotions and deep feelings that I'm so scared to admit or not confident about. And I feel like that for me was the thing that went, oh, okay, actually, I need to put this in a song because this is who I am right now and this is how I'm feeling. And then it broke the block.
Up until this point, a lot of Joe's writing was about events and things that happen around him. But by working through the dip Rather than trying to avoid it, he started writing from inside his own head. Insomnia, anxiety, the pressure to be someone he's not, the parts of himself that he was scared to look at. And this is the foundation and the fundamental core of writing from yourself and the road to creating great art. Joe's breakthrough didn't come from a new chord progression or a clever lyric. It came from finally being honest with himself. And the moment that he stopped filtering his thoughts, the music started flowing again. So with this newfound conviction, Joe was able to start writing songs from a place of truth and self-belief, a place he'd never experienced before. And Joe didn't just experience this feeling once, it happened again and again and again. Some songs came together quickly and effortlessly, while some took a little bit longer to develop. But the core idea, the core emotion, the core feeling was so strong that we always kept the belief that we could form the idea into what it truly wanted to be. And just by going through this process and allowing it to happen, Joe started to change his perspective as an artist forever.
One of the songs that I'm about to drop, there was a lot of like different demos and stuff that we did for it, and there was a lot of different versions of it, but the version that we ended up on, we sat back and we went, oh my god, we did that. Like that's crazy. Because to think of what the song was originally, and now it's become some trance Robert Milesy 90s underground rave club song with the most like deep, heartbreaking lyrics that I've ever written on a song. The most raw, like literally poured my entire soul about my feelings of anxiety, my depression, you know, things that I've gone through in my life, and then to hear it actualized in that song and kind of like see it as like a victory lap. It was like crazy. It was like, oh my god, like exercising your own personal demons and putting it in a track. It's like you're reclaiming the power that once you didn't have, the control that you didn't have over yourself, you know?
This isn't a highlight reel, it's a real rebuild. One that started with identity, deepened through doubt, and came out the other side with a body of work that Joe's proud of. And the best part? That this transformation, it isn't luck, it's repeatable. So Joe's journey wasn't find a sound, get plays, everything's easy forever. It was find a sound that's actually him, watch it connect with the real world, then feel terrified that he might never ever reach that level again, and dig even deeper into who he was to write his next body of work. That's where real growth happens. That's where you're tested as an artist. And that's the part that most people never see, and a lot of artists avoid doing. Right now, Joe's wrapping up his second EP from this new place. And he's not just making better songs than when we first started working together. He's making songs that go even deeper than his first EP. He's relating to his own music completely differently. He's using it to process emotions, not run away from them. And this is where the real breakthroughs happen.
You end up inspiring yourself because you're like, oh wow, like actually, yeah, like let's crack on.
And Joe's mindset now is exactly where it needs to be for him to keep on winning, because he's building from internal validation, not external approval. If you build a career around external approval, you'll only end up in one of two places. Either you'll make it and you'll realize you built a career that you fucking hate, or you give up somewhere along the way. In my experience, artists don't fail because they're untalented. They don't fail because they lack money or opportunities. They fail because they end up on the wrong path, a path they never really wanted in the first place. Joe started drifting towards that too, but together we managed to redirect him. And now he's doubling down on who he actually is, building a career around what truly matters to him, his artistry, his voice, and the music that he loves to make. And honestly, that's the real win. Not streams, not playlists, not socials. Those things are just amplifiers. And if you amplify the wrong thing, you'll end up trapping yourself into this successful life that doesn't actually feel like yours to begin with. But if you build from identity outwards, it's only a matter of time before the external world starts to catch up to your truth. So, if you see yourself in Joe's story, if you've got demos or unreleased music that doesn't fully feel like you yet, this is exactly what I help artists with. I offer a free limited number of artist clarity sessions each month where we sit down together, listen to your music, get clarity on your identity, and map out exactly what it would take to turn your ideas into an industry level release that you can truly stand behind. So if you want to submit your music, the link's in the description. And if you're not quite ready yet, but you still want to gain more clarity on the career ahead of you, watch this video next.